The content of lecture number 20 are proportions, which include third proportional. First we will discuss what is third proportional and then we will solve the sums related to it. Similarly, we will discuss fourth proportional and will solve the sums related to it, and then mean proportional and continued proportional, and lastly we will discuss different theorems on proportions. So first we are going to recall what is the proportion. Proportion is actually the equality of two ratios or equivalence of two ratios. So if A by B is equal to C by D, or if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then we can write that product of extremes is equal to product of means, which is the formula related to proportion. Now the third proportional will be defined as if three quantities A, B and C are related as A ratio B proportion B ratio C, then the last one, that is third one, is called the third proportional. So keep this thing in your mind that the third proportional contains the third quantity within the proportion of the given three quantities. Fourth proportional is similar to simple proportion which we just discussed. If four quantities A, B, C and D are related as A ratio B proportion C ratio D, that is A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then the last one, that is fourth one, is called the fourth proportional. Here fourth one is D, so D is called the fourth proportional. Now what is a mean proportional? Actually we know that the extremes are those quantities which are at the ends of the proportion, and means are those quantities which lie in the middle or in the center. Here we will discuss the mean proportional for the three quantities. If three quantities A, B and C are related as A ratio B proportion B ratio C, then B is called the mean proportional. Here the term or the quantity at the center of the proportion is considered as mean, and here B is the mean. Next is the continued proportion. If three quantities A, B, C and D, A, B and C are related as A ratio B proportion B ratio C, then A is the first one, B is the mean, and C, as we discussed in the definition of the third proportional, C is the third proportional in the continued proportion. And keep this thing in your mind that the continued proportion is the proportion between the three quantities where B is the mean. B is the single mean present at the center. Exercise 3.3, question number 1. Find a third proportional to p square minus q square whole divided by p cube plus q cube, and p minus q whole divided by p square minus p cube plus q square. Since we have been asked to find out the third proportional, so keep this thing in your mind that for solving such sums we would be given the two quantities and third one will be required. So the first thing which we are going to do is to suppose or assign the variable to the required one. Let x be the third proportional, then we can write p square minus q square whole divided by p cube plus q cube, ratio p minus q whole divided by p square minus p cube plus q square, proportion p minus q whole divided by p square minus p cube plus q square, ratio x. Since we are going to find out the third proportional, so keep this thing in your mind that it will be having one mean, that is p minus q whole divided by p square minus p cube plus q square. Now we know that product of extremes is equal to product of means. We will multiply the terms at the extremes and the terms at the means mutually, then we will get p square minus q square whole divided by p cube plus q cube into x is equal to p minus q whole divided by p square minus p cube plus q square into p minus q whole divided by p square minus p cube plus q square. Now we know that here at p square minus q square we can use the formula of p plus q and p minus q. Similarly, in the denominator we will apply the formula p plus q into p square minus p cube plus q square. Since we are going to find out the value of x, here we will multiply these two and will become p square p minus q divided by p square minus p q plus q square whole square. Now dividing the term with the x on both sides, we just get the value of x as p minus q whole divided by p square minus p q plus q square. Find a fourth proportional to p square minus q square into p square plus p cube plus q square, p cube plus q cube and p cube minus q cube. We are going to find out the fourth proportional now, and we will first suppose that let x be the fourth proportional, so we can write it in the form of proportional as p square minus q square into p square plus p cube plus q square ratio p cube plus q cube proportion p cube minus q cube ratio x. Since it is the fourth proportional, so we should be given the three quantities and fourth one is required to be find out. Now we will apply the formula, that is product of extremes is equal to product of means, and while multiplying the extremes we have p square minus q square into p square plus p cube plus q square into x is equal to p cube plus q cube into p cube minus q cube. Since we are required to find out the value of x, so we will divide p square minus q square into p square plus p cube plus q square on both sides to get x is equal to p cube plus q cube into p cube minus q cube whole divided by p square minus q square into p square plus p cube plus q square. We are going to apply the three formulas over here to simplify the given terms, out of which the first one is a cube plus b cube. So first we will apply the formula of a cube plus b cube, that is a plus b into a square minus ab plus b square. To simplify p cube plus q cube, it will become p plus q into p square minus p cube plus q square. Similarly, here we will have to apply the formula of a cube minus b cube, a minus b into a square plus ab plus b square, and it will become p minus q into p square plus p cube plus q square. In the denominator we are having p square minus q square, so we will apply the formula of a square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b, and we will get p square minus p q plus q square. Since this p plus q will be cancelled out with this p plus q, and this p square plus p q plus q square will be cancelled out with this p square plus p q plus q square. Similarly, p minus q will be cancelled out with this p minus q, and we will be left with x is equal to p square minus p q plus q square. Question number 3, part 4 is find a mean proportional between x square minus y square comma x minus y by x plus y. First we discussed how to find out third proportional, then we discussed how to find out fourth proportional. Now we will have to find a mean proportional between the given two quantities. Since the quantities are two, so the proportion to be considered should be the continued proportion. Since the terms in the sum are already in the form of x and y, so we will consider a different letter for the required term, that is let z be the mean proportional. Then we have x square minus y square ratio z proportional z ratio x minus y by x plus y. Applying the formula for product of extremes is equal to product of means, so we will get x square minus y square into x minus y by x plus y is equal to z into z. Since x square minus y square can be taken as x plus y into x minus y, so we will use x plus y into x minus y in place of this x square minus y square. X minus y will multiply to x minus y, and x plus y will cancel out with x plus y, and we will get x minus y whole square is equal to z square. Since we are supposed to find out the value of z, not the z square, for this we will have to take square root on both sides and we'll get z is equal to plus minus x minus y. Question number 4 part 3 is find the values of the letter involved in the following continued proportions. The proportions to be considered is a continued one, and we are going to find out the value of the unknown term involved in the given proportion. Since the given quantities are in continued proportion, so we can write them in the form of proportion as 12 ratio 3p minus 6, proportion 3p minus 6 ratio 27. We know that product of extremes is equal to product of means, so multiplying the extremes and means we just get 324 is equal to 9p square minus 36p plus 36. Shifting 324 towards the other side, we just get 9p square minus 36p minus 288 is equal to 0. 9 is the common factor in all the three terms, so 9 can be taken out as a common factor. So taking out 9 as a common factor, we just get 9 into p square minus 4p minus 32 is equal to 0. Since on the right hand side we have 0, if we divide 9 on both sides, definitely it can be vanished. So we will divide 9 on both sides in order to eliminate it to get p square minus 4p minus 32 is equal to 0. You can easily observe over here that p square minus 4p minus 32 is the quadratic equation in terms of p, so we can use the factorization method to find out the values of p. The values of p will be p minus 8 is equal to 0 or p plus 4 is equal to 0, p is equal to 8 or p is equal to minus 4 are the required terms. Last topic of today's lecture is theorems on proportions. We discussed the proportion, then we recalled it. Now we are going to find out the theorems which we will further use to solve the sums of the next exercise. For this, first we will discuss the proportion between the quantities. If four quantities A, B, C and D form a proportion, then we know that A ratio B proportion C ratio D. Then many other useful properties may be deduced by the properties of fractions, out of which the first one is the theorem of invertendo. So the theorem of invertendo, as is obvious from the names, includes the inversion of the fractions. So if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, means to say if the proportion is there or if the equality of the two ratios is there, definitely if we invert the ratio on the left hand side, the ratio on the right hand side will be inverted as well. So this is called the theorem of invertendo. If A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then B ratio A is equal to D ratio C. Similarly, the theorem of alternando is if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then A ratio C is equal to B ratio D. That is, here we are going to exchange the means. C will be shifted towards the left hand side and B will be shifted towards the right hand side, and the resultant theorem will be the theorem of alternando, and it is A ratio C is equal to B ratio D. Next is the theorem of componendo. In theorem of componendo, first we are writing proportion between A, B, C, D. That is, if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D or A by B is equal to C by D, then A by B plus 1 will be equal to C by D plus 1. By adding them, we can get A plus B divided by B is equal to C plus D whole divided by D. So this theorem can be memorized in the best way as if A ratio B is equal to C ratio D, then A plus B divided by B is equal to C plus D divided by D. Now theorem of dividendo is opposite to that of componendo. If we are adding 1 in componendo, we will subtract 1 to find out the theorem of dividendo. A by B minus 1 will be equal to C by D minus 1, and the resultant theorem will be A minus B by B is equal to C minus D by D, which is the theorem of divide and do. Now is the turn of the combination of these two theorems. The last one is the combination of these two, that is theorem of componendo and of dividendo. In theorem of componendo, we just studied that if the two fractions of or the two ratios are equal to each other, then we have a plus b divided by b is equal to c plus d divided by d. That is, if a ratio b is equal to c ratio d or a by b is equal to c by d, then a plus b by b is equal to c plus d by d. It was our equation number 1. Then we studied that if a ratio b is equal to c ratio d, then we can take a minus b by b is equal to c minus d by d. These two equations, or we can say these two theorems, can also be written in the form of ratio as a plus b ratio b is equal to c plus d ratio d. Similarly, a minus b ratio b is equal to c minus d ratio d. The combination of these two is theorem of componendo and dividendo, since we have just marked equation number 1 and equation number 2. So dividing equation number 1 and 2, we just get a plus b by b whole divided by a minus b by b is equal to c plus d by d whole divided by c minus d by d. This d will be cancelled out with d and b will be cancelled out with b, and we will get a plus b by a minus b is equal to c plus d by c minus d, which is called theorem of componendo and dividendo. It can also be called as, or it can also be read as, componendo dividendo theorem. It is the most important theorems of all the theorems on proportions which we just studied, since it will be used or it will be applied to solve the sums of exercise 3.4.